to celebrate Steamboat Willie anniversary today, let's take a look at a film that my 15-year-old self would have never wanted to watch. Screamboat, the latest installment in the public domain horror movies. This is technically one of the many ones. The most other notable one was The Mousetrap, which I watched earlier this year on April Fool's Day, and it was garbage. I really hated that movie. It's like one of the, if not the worst horror movies I've seen so far. I need to watch a lot more. But that was the another noticeable one, The Mousetrap. And there's the other ones like Mouseboat Massacre, which has Winnie the Pooh in it. There's like I Heart Mouse, and there's so many of these movies. Like, there's gonna be a lot of Mickey Mouse horror movies, and apparently we're gonna get sequels to both Mickeyverse, The Mousetrap, and Screamboat, and both will have Minnie on them, of course. And I wonder when they're gonna make Pete, if they're gonna use him, because was in Steamboat Willie, so let's include Pete in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, that's what I did. I finally watched Screamboat, and I gotta say, this is I think the perfect example of a movie that is so bad is fun. Like, the one thing that I really like about this film is a big issue with The Mousetrap is having fun with the concept and not taking it way too seriously, having generic kills. It tries to be goofy and campy. Every single character, or most characters, are extremely over the top. Most notably, Cindy and her friends. They're so over the top. They're fun. They're wacky. They're goofy. Like, there's one moment, like, before they get killed in their mouths, like, these two girls, like, one thing that's funny about these girls is that they are clearly a homage to Disney princesses. Like, Cindy's like Cinderella because she is in the blue dress, and also because before her death, she loses her shoe just like Cinderella did. But getting back to the scene I was talking about, like, one moment where these two girls are like taking a picture, but one of them didn't like how the picture looked, and while they were trying to make goofy, weird faces, right up until they get stabbed in the mouth by Steamboat Willie, was a funny scene, and that death scene was very gruesome. And that's another great thing about it. The kills are fun. I think they're goofy, they're wacky, they're intense. Like, one moment, Steamboat Willie cuts a dude's D and then stabs a topless feet lady, or off screen, I guess. And at one point, he hits a person in the head with like a item, and then his first kill is a very weird one where he meets up with Selena and develops a crush on her and makes a gross gift for her with a body of a dude he just killed outside of the boat. That was a very crazy, gruesome scene and kill. I really enjoyed every single one of them. And I really thought the backstory of Steamboat Willie, where Walt gave him the job, of course, like much like Walt Disney, but things were going terrible, and then Steamboat Willie turns evil after 90 years. He comes back into the public, which that last part obviously is a reference to the fact that he turned and entered the public domain 95 years after Steamboat Willie came out. But that was a fun backstory, especially with the animation. I thought that was a very cool. That was a very clever way to show the flashback of this that was told by Barry, this old man who's trying to warn them about the boat and who's and what's gonna happen to everybody. Another kill that I thought was impressive, like where Steamboat Willie shocks, like electrocutes everyone, and one of them gets like exploded, and the others get fried. That was a very cool. That was a very cool kill, and I thought Steamboat Willie's design is horrific and in a good way, because of course it's like Mickey Mouse but live action. It reminds me of the Kung Fu Panda from Disaster movie, but better since it's not as because it's supposed to be intentionally horrific and not like what Kung Fu Panda wants to be, but unfortunately end up being. And I thought David Howard Thornton, who plays Art the Clown, did a decent job of it. Cause at least he doesn't. It's not a silent, because he does say some lines like, "Oh yeah, stop," and he does laugh and grunt sometimes. Though it's mostly a physical performance, and one day I want to see more of David Howard Thornton like talking, like maybe when he becomes Joker in the DCU. Hopefully that can work. Hopefully I'll see more of what David Howard Thornton can do besides physically playing killers. Um, but I thought the final girl Selena was a decent final girl. It's obviously not my favorite, but I thought the actress and the character was decent enough. And I thought the teases for Screamboat 2 was very exciting. Where of course it teases Minnie Mouse, and the post credit scene it teases Pete surviving his encounter with Steamboat Willie. So I'm very curious about Screamboat 2. Nothing Stays Dead. Maybe in 2027. But so yeah. So that's my thoughts on Screamboat, the latest Mickey Mouse public domain horror film. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this movie. It's a very weird movie to exist, but yeah, what are you guys thoughts on this film? Let me know, and peace out. Bye.